Hi, this is Gina at Artist Skincare. Welcome to my show today. We're going to be talking about collagen induction, and we're going to be doing that with microneedling. So I'm going to show you some different microneedling techniques today, and we're going to do an entire microneedling facial that you can do on yourself at home to induce your skin to create more collagen. So before we get started, let me say, if you are over there on Instagram or you are on Facebook or you're on YouTube, please head over to artistskincare.com. This is a live video, and if you head over to artistskincare.com, you'll be able to interact with me in a live manner, ask questions, and you'll also be able to see the products that I'm using, and we can talk about them. So head over there and tune in. In the meantime, let's get started. I am going to be doing a facial on myself. This is going to be a collagen induction facial. That means that I'm going to increase the collagen production in my skin. And I'm also going to be using a brightening solution that is designed specifically for microneedling or microchanneling. And here we go. Okay. First thing we need to do is wash our face. So today I'm using the AnteAGE Cleanser. This is a really nice gel cleanser. You do want to use a gel cleanser when you are, it's brand new, get the cap off here. You want to use a gel cleanser when you're doing microneedling because you want to have a very clean rinse. You don't want to have any residues or any oils left on the skin when you are doing your microneedling. So I'm using the AnteAGE Cleanser today. I love it. It's a zeolite cleanser. Zeolite is a detoxification element, so it really helps to pull toxins out of the skin and neutralize them. So to get a quick cleanse in here. And as you can see, I put it straight on dry skin with dry hands. Foams up beautifully. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water to emulsify it. There we go. Now, if you're watching on my website, there are 4 little dots down in the corner of the frame. You can click on those and that will show you the products that I'm talking about. You can also navigate. You can click on those products and you can navigate around my website looking at those products, and my video will follow you. So you can read up on what I'm using, satisfy your curiosity, come up with some questions for me to answer at the end of the video, and it's super fun. All right, let's get a good rinse going. I'm going to use one of these biodegradable cloths from the Clean Skin Club. I love these. You can just throw them in your compost when you're done with them. You don't have to worry about them harboring bacteria. Let's get one more rinse. Now, before doing any microneedling, of course you cleanse, as we did, and then you also want to do a light exfoliation. So AnteAGE has really come up with the perfect system for microneedling. We're going to be using their cleanser, their enzyme, and we're going to use their microneedling solutions today. Okay, nice and clean. All right, now let's grab, I'm going to be using Rejuvenated. It's an enzyme from AnteAGE. Enzymes digest away the dull, dry, dead skin cells on the surface of your skin so that your moisturizers lay better, your serums can penetrate better, your makeup looks better. It just gives the skin that nice, fresh look, so you don't have those dry cells just hanging out there on the surface. I'm going to use a brush today. You can use your fingers or a brush. Just want to use a brush when I'm doing a video because then I'm not getting it all over my fingers. Now, I'm not going to leave this on for the full length of time. but you can do that at home, leave it on longer. If it starts to dry out, you just add a little bit of moisture by dampening your hands and massaging it a little bit more, and you'll get a little more exfoliation out of it. This one's gentle enough that I can come fairly close to the eye area. I've noticed that my eye area under here has been really dry, and so having these enzymes in this area is going to be really good for it. It's really going to help my eye creams to penetrate better and have that skin looking better when I smile, so it doesn't look so dry and crepey. Let's get those lips. Now this treatment could extend all the way down your neck onto your chest. Today I'm just going to do this jawline and the face. Now while these enzymes are sitting here on my skin, let's talk about the different devices that you can use for microneedling or for collagen induction therapy. So I've got 3 choices here today, and I'm going to show you how to use each one. We have the MTS MicroNeedle Roller, and this has little needles on a rolling ball that rolls over the skin. So I'll be demonstrating for you how to use that. This is probably the most advanced form that I'm going to show you today. I'm kind of going backwards. This is for those most advanced users and who really want to get a really good needling treatment in, really thorough. In my opinion, it's probably the most painful of the 3 methods that I will show you today. And even though I say it's most painful, it's not that painful. But if there's any of you that are afraid of needles, not sure about it, I'll show you some alternatives here as we go. So the needling device I will be showing you is the MTS. This is the top of the line. Titanium needles permanently in the roll, so you don't have to worry about them breaking off, and your skin stays sharp the longest. You can actually use this twice per month. You can use this twice a month for 6 months, so it's really good for 12 uses. The next device I will show you, the next level down, is a channeling device. This is a stamp. The stamp, in my opinion, and most people's opinion, is less painful. There are little tiny needles on the top of this. We're going to be stamping on the skin. And as your endorphins get going and you're stamping, you'll find that you're able to go a bit harder, a little bit deeper in each area, and this gives a really nice treatment. This device does not last as long as an MTS. In fact, the manufacturer recommends that you throw it away after each use. So if you're doing a really thorough job with this device, with the stamp, you're going to throw it away and use a new one for your next time. If you're just doing a little spot treating certain small areas, you might be able to get away with using it a little bit longer before throwing it away. If you do both of these devices, if you're going to reuse them, you've got to clean them with a 70% alcohol solution. You'll fill up a little cup or, fill up a little glass or cup, put it in, stir it around, and then take it out and let it air dry. Now, the third and most friendly way of doing our collagen induction therapy is with our Skin Wand Nano Infusion device. The Skin Wand has 3 settings. When we're wanting to do a really deep nano infusion like we would do with needling, we're going to use the 3rd setting. So you can see here there's a blue light, then a green light. I just cleaned it so it's spitting some stuff out of me. And there is a red light. The red light is the one to use if you are doing want to do a more similar treatment to an actual microneedling treatment. There are little needles on this, but they are not metal, they're not titanium, they are actually a silicone needle. And so they don't break the skin. However, they do make the skin more permeable. An example would be if I were to fill up a balloon for you full of water and run this over it, you would see water seeping out of the balloon. So it's making little microchannels, it's making that skin more permeable, but it's not actually creating, I'm thinking about this as I say it in my head, it's not creating actual holes in the skin. Although you have to imagine it is making a little bit of a hole. It's just so small. It's just making the skin more permeable and not really causing the same kind of wound that you would with an actual needling device. So this is the most friendly, especially for people who are adverse to using needles. This is a great option. All three of these will make your skin peel usually the next day or the day after. You're going to see some of that dead skin rolling off the skin because it has disrupted that skin barrier. So now I've got my enzymes on. Feels good. Just rub it in a little bit. After I wanted to not get it on my fingers, I'm going to after all. Here we go. I can't help but rub the skin, massage it in when I have an enzyme on my skin. It feels too good. This is such a gentle enzyme. You really feel no stinging or burning. It just does a really good job of removing those dry, dead cells. Great on the lips. Let's get a little bit more on my eyebrows. Eyebrows really need exfoliation, so always treat your eyebrows. It will also help keep the hair growing there. Keeps it healthy. All right, now we're ready to rinse and get started. Now, whenever you use an enzyme, you want to do a slime test to make sure that you have it all off. And as estheticians out there know, a slime test is you just get your fingers wet and then massage again with water. And if the skin feels slimy anywhere, you know that you still have some enzyme on there, so you can rinse again. Mine's feeling pretty good. I've still got a little bit of slime underneath my jawline, so let's get that rinse one more time. Also a little around my hairline, I feel some slipperiness. We're gonna get that rinsed. Now, if you are an esthetician and you're watching the show today, these three tools and techniques are an excellent way to introduce microneedling to your clients, starting with the Nano Infusion device, getting them used to that. Now, if you're in the state of California, you're not allowed to use needles, but you can use a Nano Infusion wand. So you can still do this treatment and get excellent, excellent results using the skin wand. Okay, that feels good. All right. Now, whenever you microneedle, doing any kind of microneedling, stamping, nano infusion, you want the skin to be dry, and then you want to use a serum or solution on the skin and keep the skin wet as you are needling the skin. So AnteAGE is fabulous. They make 4 different solutions that you can use for home microneedling. So I want to give you guys an idea of what these solutions are and the difference between them. The first one I'm going to show you is their original, and it's called the Home Microneedling Solution. Comes alone by itself, or it comes in a kit. Comes with 5 of these little 2 ml vials with a roller ball. This one in particular is used for wound healing and all around anti-aging. Many clients get this who've had a wound to the skin or have had surgery. This is the one that really is anti-inflammatory and is going to help the most with wound healing. It's also very good for anyone who has really sensitive skin or reactive skin, because the ingredients are very, very simple in this solution. So less likely to create a reaction in the skin. the next solution that they have is their anti-aging solution. And you can see on this one, they call it Microchanneling solution. This one was called Microneedling solution. They both can be used interchangeably for needling or microchanneling. So this one is the same idea. Let's open my box up. You have 5 vials, and you'll use 1 per each treatment. And the anti-aging solution has more peptides in it and specific growth factors that are going to go after lines and wrinkles in the skin. So that's what makes this one the anti-aging. Lines and wrinkles, keep that in mind. Now the next one I want to show you is the brightening. The brightening is enhanced so that it creates, so it's very good. I'm going to use it today. It's very good for people who have dark pigmentation spots, who want to even out the pigmentation on their skin. So that's what the brightening is for. Then we also have a clarifying solution. The clarifying solution is boosted so that it's anti-inflammatory, but it also helps with breakouts. So it's going to calm inflammation, breakouts. It's going to help the skin to heal faster. And in particular, it's going to be good for preventing and helping with scarring on the skin after blemishes. You do not use this while you have active inflamed blemishes. This is to be used after that is mostly healed, the skin is smooth, you don't have a pustule or an inflamed pimple there. It's to be used after that to help with that healing. You know, whenever you have a breakout, especially a big one, when it goes away, you're often left with that dark purple mark that lasts 6 to 9 months, sometimes even a year. What that means is there's still blood flow to that area because the skin is still trying to heal those deeper layers. This is where this solution comes in so handy with microneedling because it's going to speed up that healing process. Okay, so we have a clarifying, we've got brightening, we've got anti-aging, and then we have our simple one, our more wound healing. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the brightening because I have been already going out in the sun, swimming in the pool every day, swimming laps, and I'm seeing my little dark spots coming to the forefront. So I thought, yeah, today we'll do some brightening. All right, let me open up my box. So when you open it up, you've got your 5 vials. Oops. 5 vials in there. Each vial is 2 milliliters. You're going to use this entire bottle for 1 treatment. There is a roller ball on this so that you can roll it on the skin. And what we're going to do is roll 1 section and then with the roller ball, and then we will use one of our collagen induction devices, our microneedling, in that area. When we finish that area, we'll roll on to another area and then we'll needle in that spot. So we're working along around the entire face, really working the solution into the skin. When we finish treating the entire face with our microneedling, we're going to do another layer of this all over the face. And then every 30 minutes until the rest of the bottle is gone, we're going to reapply this solution. Once the solution's all gone, then you can go ahead and put on your moisturizer and your sunscreen, okay? If you are doing this treatment and you also use the serum and accelerator from AnteAGE, you're just going to wait till the next day. Wait till the next day and then resume your regular skincare routine. So let's get started. I'm going to start with, let's start with Nano Infusion and work our way up. That way we'll get some endorphins going and the rolling needle will feel just fine. So today we're going to do the Skin Wand Nano Infusion device, and I'm using AnteAGE Brightening Serum. And I'm going to be working this into my skin to help relieve dark spots in my skin and also to induce collagen, get more collagen being produced on the skin. So let's start on the forehead. When you apply these bottles, you'll see they're a little bit frustrating. If you're holding to the side this way and trying to roll on, it doesn't go on really great. It's generally better if the bottle's facing down. So when I'm rolling it on, I'm tipping my head back and rolling it onto that area that I am going to work. And it's very, very light. It's a very light solution. So sometimes when you roll it on, you feel like, oh, it's so hard to get this thing out and going. So I've turned on my device, I've turned on my skin wand. I'm gonna turn it up to the highest level because I want to get the most penetration today. I'm doing a special Nano Infusion facial. So I'm going to go up and down on this area. I want to go side to side. And I can also do little circles, just really working this into that area. I'm going to keep doing the same area until the skin is a little pink. I'm using very light pressure. I'm not really pushing it down into the skin. I'm letting the device do the work for me. By using my Nano Infusion device, we're really pushing this serum down into the skin. Any of these solutions for microneedling can be put straight on your skin and will be beneficial. But when you're doing it with a Nano Infusion pen or microneedling device, it's really pushing it further into the skin. So now I'm going to move over and do the other side of my forehead. Yeah, nice and wet. This is so great for those lines on the forehead, or if your forehead is getting too much texture or dark spots, this is going to be great. I want just a little more on there. I want to have a little more moisture on there. There we go. It's nice and pink and it's drying out. And that is how you use your Nano Infusion pen. Now, if you don't want to go as deep with it and you don't want to have any little disruption of the skin barrier or any little peeling or anything the next day, just use it on a lighter setting. Don't use it on the red setting. Okay, now the next area that I'm going to do is this little cheek area and around the eyes. And this time I'm going to use the stamp. There we go. I was rolling too fast. If you have trouble getting it out, just roll slower. Okay, got that area nice and moist. And now I'm going to take my stamp and I'm just stamping generally about 5 times in each spot. When you're stamping, you don't want to scrape across the skin. It's a straight up and down motion. And I'm waiting until the skin pinks up nicely and then I will move to the next section. If I don't see it pinking up as much as I want, but the skin's drying out, I'm going to add some more of my microchanneling solution. Especially this area, I really want to. It's a problem area for most people. We get the most sun damage right in this area. Now it's nice and moist. And I like to get those areas, the trouble areas, really pink, nice and pink. So I know I'm really getting my solution in there and I'm getting a nice little wound to the skin. So I'm going to really induce some collagen production on this area. Now I'm starting to get used to it, so I'm being just a little firmer with my pounding. And that's great, nice and pink along that area. Now let's go ahead and do the other side, and we're going to use the micro rolling technique with the roller. Great, got that skin nice and moist. Now when I'm using the roller, I'm using firm but gentle pressure, and I'm going to start by going up and down 5 times. Then I'm going to go sideways 5 times. Let's do both areas. And then I do a diagonal. And then the diagonal the other direction. Now, if the skin is not as pink as I want, I can come in and I can do the whole thing again. And I can also come down more into this area. And it's the same with the microneedling device. When I first start, I'm being really kind of gentle. I'm just getting used to it. And now as my endorphins get going and I'm used to that sensation, I can use a little more pressure as I do my rolling. I've got this area really nicely pinked up. And let's go ahead and do it because you can. I'm going to show you can do the orbital bone. So let's get some solution right in those brows on the orbital bone. If you have the AnteAGE Brow Serum, you can do this with your brow serum to induce more hair growth in that area. So I'm going to come in and do the brow, that orbital bone. Microneedling with this needle or with the stamp can also be done for hair. So if you have the Neogenesis hair serum, you could be using the microchanneling device and pushing that serum into the scalp. You could also do it with this needling, but most people find that the roller needle is just a bit too painful. I hate the roller needle on my forehead, and it feels really painful on the scalp as well because that skin is so thin. So let's go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Get this orbital bone and brow. And this time I'm going to use my stamp. Notice that I used my skin wand when I did the forehead. The forehead is the most sensitive, and needling on the forehead can bring a little tear to your eye. So I chose my Nano Infusion device to do the forehead. Any bony areas are going to feel more painful, more prickly when you do them. Okay, let's move down now and do this lower part of the cheeks. I've got to slow down. If I go too fast, the solution doesn't come out. There we go. Nice and slow. We'll continue. This whole side of the face is going to be my micro-channeling side. You see it's pinking up very nicely. That's great. Let's do the other side. We'll do our roller on the other side. Now normally just use one device. I'm just using several devices so I can show you guys how the different devices work so you can do them at home. Let me slow down with my solution. There we go. Okay, so same thing here. We're going to go in different directions and 5 times in each direction. So let's start up and down in one spot. And I could do the next area up and down. And the next. And the next. And then we can come here and go horizontal. And let's do some diagonals. And let's go the other direction. And my skin is starting to dry out, so I'm going to add a little bit more solution. These are all stem cell cytokines. The different formulas are just boosted with different ingredients to boost different outcomes. So this one has the stem cells, but then it also has some brightening agents to really help stop that melanin production in the skin, balance that out, that overproduction. By pushing air in that area, if you have a hollow cheek, that can really help get a better surface. All right, let's do the lips. And the chin. Which device should I use? Let's do the Nano Infusion. We haven't done that one for a few minutes. Turn on my Nano Infusion device, turn it up to the highest setting, which is the red. Some of you may never go beyond the skin wand for Nano Infusion. You really don't have to go into the needling if you don't want to. This Nano Infusion gives you a great treatment and excellent results. Need more slip. I really want to make sure you keep that skin wet with your solution. Now, when I'm using the Nano Wand and I have it just on the lowest setting, I can use that with any serum that I want. Any water-based serum, no oil serums. But when you're using it on this higher setting, which is the red light, that's when you want to be more careful and you want to use ingredients that your skin will understand. So using the stem cell cytokines and growth factors, that is going to be a better thing to drive deeper into the skin than some other ingredients that aren't naturally found in the skin. I'm using my Brightening, but you could also in this area, especially around the mouth, you could be using the anti-aging, because the anti-aging is what's going to go after, it's boosted to go after those little lines around the lips, the little lines anywhere on your face, the crow's feet, forehead, 11s. The anti-aging is the one that's going to have those peptides that go after those wrinkles in the skin. But if you have dark pigmentation around your mouth or any areas, the Brightening complex is excellent. Let's do one more layer. And you can see I can spend more time and go over more often when I'm using my Nano Infusion pen, as opposed to going over with the needling, one of the needling devices. That's nice and dry now. Now the only area we really haven't done is this jawline. So let's get in there and work the jowl. We get a lot of stagnation in this area, so this is really going to help with some cell turnover. Grab my microchanneling device. 5 pats in each spot, but then I do go back and I get those areas that might need a little extra work, or if I want it to be pinker. So if you're really light-handed with this and you're not pinking up, go over it a few more times. See if you can be a little more aggressive. If you don't want to be more aggressive, just do it a few more treatments. Now this area of my skin's dry, so it's really soaking up my solution. So I'm going to add some more solution on here to get underneath. Punching myself in the face. Now, when I'm finished, I've done the entire face, if I have specific areas where I know I have problem areas, like on this side, I've got some dark pigment right over here and a bit right here, I can come in at the end and hit those areas one more time. All right, now we're going to do the other side using our roller. So I'm going to get my jawline. Rolling all in one direction first. Now I'm going to roll the other direction. One little area at a time. Just turn it over. That's nice and pink. And then like I did on the other side, I'm going to hit these little dark spots that I have. There we go. And you can notice I pick up in between direction changes. So I'm not going to go from this direction and turn and go that direction. That would just rip the skin. So when we change directions, we pick up the device, or if we move to a new spot, we pick up the roller and move it over. Now, because I want to get a little deeper wounding to the area around the mouth, we're just going to do the mouth with the roller. And that's it. Pretty good job. I have a few, I have my 11s. If you choose to, you could go back and get some particular problem areas before you finish. I've got some lines forming up on my forehead over here. When I was a little kid, I fell, hit this eyebrow, had to have stitches on the corner of a boat, a ski boat. Slow down, Gina. So let's get this little area. Oh, ooh, needling on the forehead. Oh, Nano Infusion, or a stamp on the forehead is better, but even the stamp, oh, so uncomfortable. So grab my pen, turn it up, get it on the red setting. Let's do it with that instead. So much more tolerable. May as well do both areas and be even. Slow, slow. There we go. So now that I've completed my rolling, I'm going to go ahead and roll my solution all over the entire face so that I have a nice coating everywhere. And I'm going to let it dry. Now I'm going to come back at this every 30 minutes for the rest of the day and keep applying my solution until it's all gone. Now, if your skin's feeling a little tight and dry, you can reapply 15 minutes later if you want. You could reapply 5 minutes later if you want. We just say, in general, reapply every 30 minutes because not everybody's going to sit there and reapply this every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes. So just making sure that you're coming in though and using up the rest of your bottle and reapplying so that your skin is getting all these good healing stem cell cytokines, anti-inflammatory cytokines, and in this situation, those brightening growth factors. And you're going to want to stay out of the sun for this day. This isn't a day you're going to want to go to the pool or get a heavy workout and get real sweaty. This is a day you want to spend indoors, being more sedentary. Now, one thing I didn't do is get the top of my nose. This is an area that really gets a lot of thinning. We tend to lose fat pad and collagen in this area. So let's go ahead and roll the top of my nose while we're at it. You can roll the sides of your nose. This is a technique, doing the side of my nose reminds me of one of my clients who had a skin graft. After having some cancer removed, she had a skin graft in this area, and we used this needling technique. Once that graft was healed, we used our growth factor serums, our stem cell cytokines, and we rolled, especially around the little edges, very gently around that skin graft, and that graft just melted right into the original skin, and we saw a beautiful healing result doing that. That would be something that you would want to talk to your surgeon about and make sure it's okay for you to do, but we had a great result with that. Just getting those little areas that we missed while talking. Right in around the eye area. Okay, now I'm going to completely add this in. Let's get those lips. You guys can be just like me. I've heard a few complaints about this. These bottles. If your bottle is not rolling out, you're rolling too fast. And we go like this and try and roll it, and it doesn't work. You've got to let that roller ball completely roll around. If you're going back and forth, if you think about it, that roller ball is only going a little ways back and forth. You're not getting the part of the roller ball that's full of the solution to come all the way around. So you've got to do longer, slower strokes, and you'll get a good disbursement of the solution. All right, I feel good about that. Got a good penetration. I still have two-thirds of a bottle in here. So normally I would have less than this, but normally I do my entire neck and I do my chest. So later today, if I want to come in and do those areas, I have enough to do that as well. Now, like I said, you're going to come back, keep reapplying throughout the day until your bottle is empty. And then you can put on moisturizer, and if you need to, you can put on a little bit of sunscreen. I love to use the AnteAGE Moisturizer with this. It's very light, does not occlude the skin, feels very comfortable and very moisturizing. Once you've done that, the next morning when you get up, you can go back to your regular skincare routine, which you might do if you're using a prescription retinol or you're using some kind of strong acids on your skin. You might wait another 24 hours before putting those on your skin. So that is my microneedling demonstration for you guys. How about some questions? Do we have questions, Ben?
Sure, yeah, you just touched on the retinols, but
yes, okay.
Would you also want to quit using retinols beforehand?
Yeah, if you're using a prescription retinol, then always, if you're going to do any kind of facial procedure, you're going to want to stop using it for 3 to 5 days before you do that treatment. If you're using a retinaldehyde or you're using an encapsulated retinol or a time-released retinol, you're probably okay. But if you're using prescription retinol, you're going to want to, or a stronger, even non-prescription retinol, you're going to want to wait a little bit, stop using it a bit beforehand, and then wait a few days afterwards, just to give yourself a little bigger window in between there.
And Kayla wants to know if the roller would be the best option to help with textured acne scarring.
Yes, for texture and acne scarring, you're going to want to use the clarifying rollers. And they look just like the others. You get 5 little vials in there. You'll use 1 vial for each treatment, and these are excellent for texture. A little bit of acne texture going on where maybe you have a little bit of a divot and stuff like that going on, or you've got some PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, or still some inflammation in there. This is going to be the solution that you want to use. You can also use this, I've used this to go after even a little bit of deeper scarring with acne and been successful, but I'm using the MTS MicroNeedle Roller. Those needles are a little bit longer, and I'm being aggressive and really getting the solution down in there, and you will see a softening of those scars. Now, if you have really deep boxcar scars or ice pick scars, you're going to need more professional level microneedling. This is a 0.3. I don't recommend going any deeper than this at home. I have heard from many people out there who went out and tried to do this and went out and bought themselves a 1 millimeter needle, rolled with it, ended up scarring themselves, really wrecking the texture of their skin. It's not something that you want to do. Don't recommend ever going above 0.3 yourself at home. If you're going to have professional level microneedling done, go to a doctor, have it done there, and make sure that you see the before and after pictures and you know that they know what they're doing. Because microneedling can scar the skin if you're using too big of needles.
Paula wants to know, how often can you do the roller?
So rolling the skin with the roller or the stamp, especially doing it to where you're nice and pink like this, you only want to do that every 5 weeks. So like I said, if you're doing it once every 5 weeks, your roller is going to last you quite a long time. The reason we do that is because we are disrupting the skin barrier and putting great ingredients in there. It takes 5 weeks for those new skin cells to come up to the surface and for the skin to fully heal. If we're constantly aggravating it with these needles and going after it, we're just going to wear that skin out. It's not going to be good. It's going to cause too much inflammation. It's not the right approach. If you want to be infusing serums and things into your skin more often on a daily basis or more on a weekly basis, that's when you want to get a Nano Infusion pen. The Nano Infusion pen can be used more often, and it's not as disruptive to the skin barrier.
And is the roller the best device for glycation, or are there any other options?
So there's mixed information out there on rolling and glycation. While some people see good results rolling with glycation, other people don't. It's actually not recommended for glycation of the skin. So probably the best thing for you would be to stick with the Nano Infusion pen and use that for that area.
Sophie says, I am using Neogenesis Recovery with the Neogenesis Mist. Is that just as effective as the AnteAGE?
You bet. So we've been doing a lot of testing over the years, and my technique keeps changing, and what we use changes, and I try and keep the website up to date. I just did a bunch of updates on the whole needling section this last week. So if you're using recovery serum, that's excellent. Absolutely excellent to do what we did today, but you're not going to use the mist. You're going to put on your recovery serum in one area and then roll it or stamp that into it and then go to the next area using your recovery serum. Then when you're finished, then you'll put a layer of recovery serum over everything, and then you could add another layer of recovery serum every 30 minutes for the next 90 minutes, and then you can put on your mist and your moisturizer and your sunscreen. But for that time while you're actually rolling, you're just going to want to use your recovery serum and use that for your slip, and you're only going to want to use that for the first 90 minutes after your treatment.
Cool. Paula wants to know, if she does this in the evening, can she work out the next day, and is it okay to wear tinted sunscreen?
Yeah, so by the next day, your skin is going to be closed back down and you'll be just fine. You shouldn't have any problem if you do it in the evening, the next morning getting up and doing your workout. Should be just fine. I would be more wary of just getting a workout in under the sun. I think that that would probably be a little bit too much, but just getting in your regular workout should be fine, and a tinted sunscreen will be fine because your skin will be closed down. All that permeability should be back to normal the next day with these devices.
Parvin wants to know, with the skin wand, can you use the nano wand around the eyes and under the eyes, and can you use it on a daily basis to drive serums in deeper?
You can use it around the eye area and on a daily basis, but you just want to keep it on the blue setting, especially around that eye area. So when you put on your eye serum, I don't think, let me see if I have, well, I just microneedled, so I'm not going to put a serum on, but if you have a gel serum or Neogenesis eye serum, you can go ahead and roll this area, and yes, using that blue setting, you can get right up in the eye area, being very gentle. I'm not using hardly any pressure, and I'm just working that into the skin, and you can do the same thing above the eye. Very gently working it in. Now, if you have very sensitive skin and you find that you get a little peeling around this area the next day, then skip a day or skip a few days and then do it again, because you don't want to do this device over skin that is freshly exfoliating itself. When you disrupt this, if you have a lot of buildup of old dead skin cells on there and you start using your skin wand or any kind of a needling device, you're going to disrupt the barrier, and that your body's going to like that opportunity just to shed those damaged cells. So if you're using this on the lightest and you're still getting a little bit of flaking around here, that's okay. Just be gentle with the area. Keep treating it with your serums and moisturizer, and just know that area wants to release those dead skin cells and regenerate. So yes, you can do it every day, but if you see a little bit of flaking happening or a little skin rolling off, then just wait a day or two before you do it again.
And last question, Suzanne wants to know, can microneedling bring on a cold sore when done around the lips? Yes.
So if you have that propensity towards cold sores in that area, you're probably not going to want to roll that area with actual needles. You could try using the lowest setting on the skin wand, and that might be okay, but it's going to be on an individual case-by-case situation. And definitely if you're starting to feel that tingly feeling like there's one coming on, you're not going to want to use the skin wand or anything in that area, because definitely you can stimulate. Unfortunately, when we stimulate the collagen, we can stimulate that outbreak.
Okay, a couple more questions snuck in.
Good. I like questions.
Yeah. Which is more effective for under eyes, the MBK Eye Rejuvenator or the Skin Wand?
So very different, totally different technologies. Okay, so the MBK Eye Rejuvenator is microcurrent. So microcurrent can drive some serums and things into the skin. It's also using a little microcurrent through there to stimulate some ATP and to have healthy cells. The skin wand is working more on that permeability. So actually pressing the serums into the skin. And so I would say that the skin wand is probably going to be a little stronger effect, possibly. But then the MBK Eye Rejuvenator is going to give you that microcurrent also, so it's going to be increasing the ATP, which causes the cell renewal. So honestly, I can't tell you which one would be better. I haven't done any side-by-side. We haven't had any side-by-side studies or anything to see which device might work better in that area. So they just kind of go about it each in a different way. The skin wand is kind of nice because you can use it all over. The MBK Eye Rejuvenators, we do have some people that use that around their lips as well, but you could not really use it around your entire face, and it's not the most efficient way of using microcurrent. Microcurrent is usually best if you're running it from one place to another through the skin. When you're using the MBK, it's just giving you microcurrent on that one spot. So it's a very entry-level microcurrent, but it is beneficial. It does help to drive things in. It's a nice handy tool that you can use every single day. You might be able to use that more every single day than you can the skin wand every single day. And if you have really sensitive, delicate skin under the eyes, you probably won't want to use the skin wand. Especially, those in their later 70s or 80s, this tissue might be getting too delicate for the skin wand. And then, of course, the MBK Eye Rejuvenator will be better in that situation. Hope that helps.
Melissa wants to know if she's using the skin wand for a little bit every morning or just around the eyes and lips. How long would a tip last? And maybe a good follow-up question too would be, how can you tell when the tip needs to be replaced?
Yeah, you can't tell. It's the same with the needling devices. You can't really tell because our eyes, we can't see that microscopically small. There's no way of looking at it and knowing that it is done. But I think we have guidelines on the website. Let me get on here and let me go to the skin wand. Unfortunately, I know it would be nice if maybe it changed color or something so you knew it was time.
Like a toothbrush.
Yeah. I know, like a toothbrush. That would be so awesome. I'm just seeing if it states on here, you probably already looked at this, 4 or 5 uses doing the entire face. So if you're just doing the eyes and the mouth, you can probably get away then with 10 uses, maybe, and then replacing it. That would be my best guess.
Cool. Kayla says, would microneedling trigger melasma?
Well, because some people, because melasma can be so inflammation induced, some people who are just really sensitive, as much as I did through here, you can see how pink that is. If you are super sensitive to inflammatory hyperpigmentation, that means if your skin just gets hot, you get hyperpigmentation, then you might not want to needle as aggressively as I did, and you may want to use a Nano Infusion pen instead. It really varies from person to person. So you might just want to, test an area before you go whole hog on your entire face with it. But Nano Infusion is probably a safer bet for you than actually rolling the skin. Now, there are great anti-inflammatory ingredients in these rolling solutions. And they're not just anti-inflammatory ingredients, they're anti-inflammatory growth factors that are taken from stem cell cytokines. So they really do help to reduce that inflammation that could lead to that. The problem would be is if the skin gets too dried out, so you're going to want to keep it moist. And going in the sun afterwards could be a real issue for you. So you're going to want to be cautious about that, be really careful, and certainly not applying retinol right after a treatment either, giving yourself that good buffer afterward. If you do induce a little bit of pigmentation doing this, not to worry too much. You can always remove, it's just superficial pigmentation. We can always reduce that by using the Dermadisc can help lift off that top layer of hyperpigmentation. Many clients are loving that. Or using some of our brightening serums, the vitamin C serums that are more brightening. Just a tip on this since I've got you here. And I'm like you, I get hyperpigmentation very easily. Just know we're heading into the worst time of year for hyperpigmentation, and I just embrace it. At 60 years old, I love to be outdoors. I love to bike. I love to swim. I love to kayak. All those things are leaving their dark mark on my skin. And the most important thing for us is just not to obsess about it and be too worried about it. I kind of see them as mementos of life. Reminds me of the good times that I've had. I just find a way to change the programming in my mind around it. I don't need to have all one skin color anywhere. I'm never going to have that. My arms are never going to have that. I have a lot of pigmentation, uneven pigmentation on my body. And it's just part of a natural human body. And it's okay. I'm never going to look like a Barbie doll. I'm never going to have one skin tone everywhere. And in the summer months, I just embrace that. I do some things to help prevent damage. I'm putting antioxidants on. I'm using some different gentle brighteners on my skin. So I'm doing things to just kind of maintain, keep the skin healthy. I know that come fall, and what I encourage you to do in the fall or the end of summer is to reach out and do a healthy skin consultation. And that's when my melasma clients know that's when we're going to go to work and just work on removing that dark pigment that is built up and collected over the summer months. But during the summer months, just do some things to protect the skin. Definitely wear your sunscreen, use your antioxidants, a little bit of skin brighteners here and there. And just know that in the fall is when we go back after that and take care of it and remove what we can that's on the surface of the skin.
And Isabel has a question that's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Okay.
Does microneedling help pigmentation?
So, not sure about your question. If you're meaning, does it help hyperpigmentation or does it help hypopigmentation? So if you have, let's just do as Ben said, let's go to the opposite spectrum. So say you've got white spots showing up on your skin. Is anything going to help bring that pigmentation back? No. Unfortunately, nothing is going to bring pigmentation back once you've lost the pigmentation. I have a condition called poikiloderma, and so you can see on my neck, if I turn to the side, this whole area right here has lost its pigment. There's nothing I can do to bring pigment back to that area, not even microneedling, unfortunately. And you can see this dark line of where the pigment starts and then goes back this way again. What I can do is work on keeping this all protected so the dark areas don't get as dark and then it doesn't stand out as much. But once you've lost pigmentation, there's no way of bringing that back, unfortunately. That's part of why I guess I have to, for me, I have to embrace just having a bit of a speckled, an uneven skin color. It's just the way it is. We did it. We made it through all of our questions. That's wonderful.
Isabel said, she followed up, she said dark pigmentation.
She was speaking of dark pigmentation as well. So a couple things that really help with the dark pigmentation that we found this last year. One of them is the dermadisc. You can see it on my website. It's a microdermabrasion that does not use suction, so it doesn't damage the capillaries. It runs over the surface of the skin. Now it vibrates and you massage it around. You can use it on dry skin, and then you can also use it on skin that you put enzymes on. It's very helpful for removing that top layer of hyperpigmentation that can get a little dark on the surface. What I have to caution you guys about is, especially if you have melasma, is don't work at it so much that you're just abrading all that skin and making a wound. It's a hyperpigmentation is dealt with in an incremental, gentle fashion. So using that dermadisc once a week with some enzymes can really be helpful for maintaining a more even pigmentation, but don't go crazy on your sensitive spots. If you have particular spots that get dark, that means that those melanocytes, those cells in there, are overreactive because they have been wounded before or they fear damage, and they're going to be overreactive and produce pigmentation to try and protect themselves. So when using any of these things, we want to be gentle on those areas and not overdo it. Yeah.
Kayla is wondering, if it's best to wait for a healthy aging consultation to treat melasma in the fall. She was hoping to start treating it now, but she's wondering.
So what you can do now is you can do your healthy skin consultation on the website now. We will help you have a good maintenance program to get through the summer to really protect the skin and minimize hyperpigmentation. But we're not going to be able to get rid of hyperpigmentation in the summer months. Even if you, well, maybe if you stay indoors and you never go outside, but just getting hot, you know, from the heat outside is going to make hyperpigmentation whether you're in the sun or not. Some people can even get hyperpigmentation from working out. When they work out, if they get really hot and their skin turns really red, that can cause pigmentation to rear up. So during the summer months, it's very, very rare that we are actually going to diminish your hyperpigmentation. What we can do, and what we do with all of our hyperpigmentation clients through the summer months, is we get you on a good program to just maintenance program to just kind of minimize. Let's minimize the darkness as much as we can through the summer months. Once the heat is gone, then we go after it. We do some different home peels that are very gentle. We do some little stronger ingredients and products that we have. Some Bellis perennis and a real strong strength. We'll use that in the fall, and all those things to help minimize and really see a decrease in that pigmentation. But if we were to try and do those things on you now through the summer, you're not going to see the results, and it's not going to be that great for your skin as well, and you get frustrated. We don't want that. So through the summer months, we're just trying to minimize.
Sarah says, I used retinaldehyde last night and am using my red infrared panel this morning. Any advice how to prep without triggering melasma? And she's not touching it directly to the skin.
Okay, so your infrared panel, you know, all LED is all different. So we need to know, does that panel put off heat? Because that'll be the type of, and if it's infrared, it probably is putting off some heat. If it's putting off heat, you're going to want to keep it off the skin. You can use Rhonda Allison's Brightening Pigment Tonic. You could put spritz with that and let it dry before you do your treatment. You could put on, I think that's out of stock. I was going to say you could put on AnteAGE Reversal. Any of those serums that are really calming or anti-inflammatory. So Hale and Hush has a sensitive skin serum. Rhonda Allison has a sensitive skin serum. Any of those kind of things that are going to reduce inflammation in the skin can be put on. Your recovery serum from Neogenesis, any of these microneedling solutions can be put right on the skin, especially the wound healing one. That one is particularly anti-inflammatory. You can roll that over the skin before doing your light panel on your face. You wouldn't want to, of course, and I think you already know this from what you said, you wouldn't want to put your retinaldehyde serum on and then do your treatment. But doing a retinaldehyde at night beforehand should not be a problem for you. But also, though, using with your retinaldehyde serum, making sure that you're using Rhonda Allison's Brightening Pigment Tonic with it, so you're really suppressing the things that cause that pigmentation rear up or flare up in the skin will be important for you.
She said, yeah, it's heat.
Okay, so it does get hot.
Turn off the infrared mode.
Yes, turn the heat. Yeah, turn that mode off. So it sounds like maybe you have a Saluma or something. If you can turn that off so you're not having the heat on the skin, and you'll get a better result. Use the heat when you're treating other areas of the body where it feels good. Injuries and things like that on the body, that's when you need that heat. But if you can turn the heat off on your device, you're going to have the best result for your face.
Isabel wants to know, can the Dermadisc be used on the arms?
Yes. Absolutely. It can be used on the back of the hands to get the dark spots on the hands, the chest, the arms. And of course, you guys and I discovered this. I hate to even admit it to you guys, but make sure that every time you use your Dermadisc, you put your discs into the dishwasher and wash those discs. Because if you come back at them and you haven't washed them, you're likely to get some skin irritation. I know. I did it to myself. I didn't realize I hadn't washed it. And I just didn't even think about it. So I used it 3 or 4 times, and then I really gave myself some irritation because I hadn't been washing it properly. So use your good hygiene, you guys. Definitely take that thing, stick it in your dishwasher, and wash it in between uses. Same thing with your skin wand. Take this thing and swoosh it or soak it in some alcohol, 70% alcohol, then take it out and let it dry. That way you're killing any bacteria and you're not driving or grinding bad bacteria into your skin. Alrighty.
Cool, we did it.
We did it. Yay. Thanks for joining me today, ladies. It's been a lot of fun. I love your questions. Really great questions. Thanks so much. And we'll see you all again next week. Oh, Friday. Well, tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. Lauren has her show, so she'll be on. I'm not sure what she's talking about tomorrow.
Tint mixing.
Oh, ooh, I love it. She's going to be talking about how to make your own tinted sunscreen, or even a moisturizing sunscreen that's tinted, which is just so fun and good to know through the summer months. In the summer months, wearing foundation is just kind of icky, especially if you're in a hot environment. So she's going to show you how to custom blend and make your own tinted SPF. And then Thursday, Celine is going to be on, and she's going to be answering all your acne questions. And then Friday, we have a guest on the show, Michelle, my husband, and he's going to be teaching you guys how to use the MyoLift and the MyoLift Tri-Wave and the Onma Lift. He's going to be doing lymphatic drainage this Friday, and then next Friday, he's going to be doing the lifting treatment. And so it's a really good one to get men watching, because men can see how easy it is to do. And if they can't watch it during that time, you know, we're live every day at 10 o'clock. If any time you guys miss one of these shows, you come back to the website, go to our videos tab, and you can watch it on a Saturday or Sunday morning when life is just not so busy. All right, you guys take care, and we'll see y'all again next week.